Okay, so now that the basic layout structure of the page is finished, we can start to bring in the content that we're going to be using. I'm going to go back to Word and copy the poem that I have selected. Just select all that text, copy it, and swing back to Dreamweaver. I'm going to highlight the content for ID page main goes here. And rather than just pasting the style and everything else so that I can show you from scratch what needs to happen really when you're formatting your text, I'm going to do a paste special in edit and paste special and tell it to just give us the text. I'll click OK, and I get just a barrage of text, not any formatting like it was in Word, but we'll do all of this inside of Dreamweaver. So I'll be needing to come back and check out the poem where the line breaks are and see where I need to press enter, where each paragraph should go. I don't know this poem by heart, so let's do this instead. I'm going to first, I'll get rid of I'm just highlighting using the arrow keys. The road not taken, that's the title. We already have an H1 on top of that. I'm going to start to make some assumptions about the poem, such as every time that I see a capital letter, that's the next line that follows. If I were to just press enter here, though, you'll see that the format changes to paragraph. And in the original Word, the paragraphs are 1, 2, 3, maybe 5 lines each. So each line, I don't necessarily want to make a paragraph. Rather than just giving it that break, I'm going to press backspace to go back to the original line. I'm going to press and hold shift and then press enter. That will give me a break in the code. If I were to check the code right now, I see that instead of adding a paragraph marker, I get the BR code. Back to design, I'm going to do this for the first 5 lines. I'm sticking my cursor just before the A, before the next line is pressing and holding shift and enter. Do the same thing with and, just there. I thinking, let's see, where's the next line? And look down as I could to where pressing shift and enter, and then the semicolon marks the end of the paragraph, so that T is the start of the next paragraph. I will press enter and just have this one block of text above. If I were to check the code right now, then I see that indeed I have a paragraph that starts with the first line, break lines for every other line, and then a new paragraph where the other one begins. Going back to design, I see in my properties below that indeed this is a paragraph. We won't see the break lines in the tag inspector, but we are able to physically see the paragraph. Let me finish adding the shift enters to the rest of the lines. And why don't I do this real quick, and I'll come back and start up the video when I'm done. Okay, so the rest of my poem has been laid out and pasted. I have added the correct line breaks. Is there a way to maybe do the shift return straight from Dreamweaver? Yes, there is. I think you'll find that it's a little bit easier if you just do shift and return, because you would need to go HTML and use a special character. At the bottom, I see my character list, and there is the line break. And then it tells you, no, the shortcut is actually shift enter. You should probably use that instead. Are there shortcuts for any other one of the special characters? I don't think so, and that's okay, because I think the line break is going to be the one special character that you're going to be using the most. It would be simpler even actually to just go into the code and type in bracket BR rather than having to search for it every single time. Well, now that my text has been laid out, I think that I'm going to make a couple of changes to the way that this design is looking. Rather than having the road not taking the title at the top, I'm going to go back. I know I deleted it, but I'm going to type it again just before the poem starts. And pressing enter, so it's its own paragraph. And once I have my own paragraph with that, I'm going to change the format to a heading 1. There's multiple levels of headings, as you know, heading 1 being the larger one, heading 6 being the smallest one. It's actually smaller than the text. Of course, all of this can be changed using CSS styling. And rather than saying the road not taken above, I'm going to highlight that and type in actually the hyper poem exercise. I think I'm also going to, I'll keep my name down here. I did not write the poem. Or do you think that I should take it off? I'm going to take it off for now. I don't know how comfortable I feel putting a copyright symbol on something that I didn't write. So I'm going to just put in IMED 2415. If you write your own poem, by all means, put whatever it is that you want to put down there. I'm also going to change the document title from just the static hyper poem to the road not taken, and put the author's name, Robert Frost, and that will all be changed in the code. So now my title will appear whenever I go and navigate using a browser. Going back to design, and I mean there are some proper uses for special characters. Let's say that, well, this poem in particular doesn't have any quotes, but I know that there is a paragraph here, or rather one sentence that I had highlighted as as sort of a quote. This, "Oh, I kept the first for another day," for example. Let's say that that was going to be encapsulated in quotes, and I'm using the quote key in my keyboard. Although if you could see this close enough, you'll notice that these are not really true quote marks. They're inch markers. They're just straight up and down. And if I wanted to use, rather than the inch mark, use a regular left open quote and close it with the right quote, I would select the space, or at least get rid of it. I'm deleting it. Going to my insert and finding once again my HTML character, and find the left quote. That would put in a left quote on that end. And then to close the quote, do the same thing. Go to insert and HTML character and right quote. And now I would have regular quotes with no problem. I'm going to delete them just because the original poem doesn't have anything there. Wouldn't want to change all that. So once that's deleted, I'm going to go forward with the styling of the page. One other special character that you might want to become familiar with, at least with the shortcut, is going to be the non-breaking space. And you may remember from Web Design 1 the NBSP code. Basically it adds in a hard space. And when we want to use that, well, I mean, there's going to be some cases. Let's say, for example, that for this poem we wanted to have some indentation, and since this is all just one paragraph, if we try to use the block quote, it would affect the entire paragraph. It wouldn't be just the lines that we want. Plus, we want to really keep block quotes whenever we're going to be using quotes later. I'm going to Control Z that, undo it. Actually, I wanted to type in some spaces after the first line, so that the first line it would be in its own margin, and then everything else just be a little bit indented. We could make a class later and add in some spacing using margins, but for a quick solution, what I can do is insert an NBSP code. It's insert HTML, and down in character, there's going to be, just before character, there's a non-breaking space, and it tells me that the shortcut is Control-Shift-Space. I'm going to press and hold Control-Shift and type in space, and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. And then check out the code. The code has added 5 NBSP codes. I'll go back to design, and since these are characters, I can actually select them. I'm going to click, hold down my mouse button, and tell it to copy. Edit copy, or Control C, as the shortcut, and then go to the beginning of each line after, and I'm pressing Control V to paste. Now, whether or not this is proper formatting for a poem doesn't really matter much. I'm just trying to get some personality to the page, just so that it doesn't look so flat. I think that that's going to do it right there. And that's just some basic tagging that we've done, some minor changes. We'll continue to code this in the next video.